Hello and welcome everyone to today's after church tea time.
And in this after church tea time, we are with Avenger, Deborah, and me, Paco, and we are speaking about this wonderful sermon from Adam and Brian about Thanksgiving and gratitude. And I love the sermon for Thanksgiving is soon, that we celebrate gratitude and that we celebrate gratitude as an energy. They were speaking in their sermon that it's not about gratitude, you say it because it's what you
You're
know
told to
exactly. But the sermon was really going deep into the energy of gratitude, and that is a whole lifestyle in truth, being grateful and cultivating that in your life on a daily basis. Adam and Brian were inviting us to open up our heart and truth to allow gratitude being a lifestyle, because gratitude is a very powerful energy, and really open up and it also be vulnerable about it, because with gratitude you really reflect onto your life. Or they invited us also to look back on our year. How was our year? What perspective do we have on our past year? Do we see it from the perspective of, oh my God, there was something uncomfortable, or do we allow God to change our perspective and kind of
show us the truth about the situations that we were experiencing?
Exactly, and you can only do that from a grateful heart, from an open and grateful heart. And this is very powerful. They presented it in a very light and easy way, like all their sermons are. I really love their sermons because they help us to transform something that is very powerful and helpful in a very light and easy way, so we can receive it easier. And I'm very thankful for that, Adam and Brand. Thank you for communicating this so easy with us. And I would like to open the floor. Avenger, what was your biggest takeaway from this sermon?
From this sermon, I actually liked how Adam and Brian also connected with the teachings of union, that how teachings of union are helping us be more and more grateful in our day-to-day lives. And it's just not about celebrating Thanksgiving Day and be thankful for all our blessings, but making it a part of our life. And as you also mentioned, like taking a look back upon the year and how things unfold, I think it's good that how we ground into being more thankful, even with like how we do mirror exercise. It's about with every mirror exercise, it's not about whether you see a shift in your physical reality immediately or not, because there could be more layers to move through, but it's just one step that you're coming closer in loving yourself and coming closer to yourself. So, being more grateful for that, and how we can keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, and being opening ourselves by also being thankful to ourselves for doing this, for loving ourselves.
Oh, that's beautiful that you were speaking about that. Something I really enjoyed about the sermon too, that they also gave us the solution how we can learn this lifestyle of being grateful with the teachings of union we have here in the Church of Union, and also the very powerful tool, the mirror exercise. And like you shared, that you also change your perspective of how you encounter the next upset you may experience in your life as you go through challenges. And they went quite deep with the topic of challenges, and that you can learn being grateful for a challenge.
To look at them in a different perspective. I feel like that's something that a lot of us are used to. It's like seeing when a challenge arises, it's like seeing it as a punishment, like as a punishment from God. And I know that I was like thinking or feeling about it like that before finding these teachings and practicing, of course, like the mirror exercise. And that actually puts us in a very weak position because we are kind of like victims of our circumstances rather than like Adam and Brian were sharing the sermon, rather than actually like finding the pearl in the challenge, in the not so comfortable situation. So I feel like that's one of the most powerful things. I really like that they were really going deeper with in the sermon, because that change of perspective is actually everything in this journey. Otherwise, you don't really, it becomes very heavy and quite unsustainable when we don't come to that place where we finally cultivated that inner knowing that, okay, this is a challenge. It's okay. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to throw a party out of like, because of it. You don't have to, I deny that it doesn't feel comfortable. Like, that's okay. Like Brian was saying, it's okay to honor how you feel about it, but at the same time knowing like, okay, you can just move through this, you can move past this and actually see what's like what's the present, where's the gift that it's on the other side of it. And I feel like for me that's one of the most important pieces. That's something that I've been kind of like working on day in and day out of my journey. I come from a very poor mentality in the country I was born and raised, and overcoming this was really very challenging because I was raised, well, not only because I come from Argentina and a lot of people are still kind of like very hooked into this, seeing themselves as a victim whenever a challenging moment or situation arises, which is pretty much every day. Especially when they look at the economics, it's like it's challenging every day. But at the same time, I was raised in a Jewish family, not a super Orthodox, and for better or for worse, that's also kind of like impregnated in the Jewish consciousness. Is that whenever God presents them a challenge as a community, they are being punished. And I remember this being taught to me when we were having kind of like our version of religion classes, and it took really a lot of effort and quite some inner healing work throughout couple of or many years to be able to come to that other side of it and start like peeling away those layers of believing that I'm a victim of my circumstances and therefore I'm not really achieving what I want, or I am not getting what I want. And something very you would say important to kind of like take into consideration is that how God works in this journey, especially when you are actively embracing it, is that it's not that you don't get what you want, but God will give you what you need in order to have what you want. And sometimes those two don't coincide in that moment with what your expectations were. And I know that I bumped with this one quite a few times, so it's always a very good reminder to kind of like bring it up, back at the forefront and keep it in mind as well. Okay, what is this situation for? And like everyone is sharing to the church, and Brian were sharing this too, and Dennis and Nicole were, of course, speaking to it too. Is like changing that mindset from why is this happening to me to this is happening for me, and getting really clear like what is this happening to me for, what am I to learn, or what kind of growth, like what is it to be expected, or which direction should my journey be taking on because of this challenge, because of this lesson.
And when I was hearing this too and feeling my feelings through the sermon, I felt into my heart, and then I realized we are going through a transition in our union too, and our journey together too. We are moving into a new place, and in this change, we encounter financial blocks and difficulties again.
Or challenges, yeah.
Challenges again.
Challenges.
And I'm asking God why, and it's always so intense for me, as all my life I had to struggle with that. And even I'm always working, but I have always to struggle with that. And then, okay, I accepted I'm going through that, like you were sharing, but I did not found a place where I'm really grateful for it yet. And when I was listening to the sermon, I found gratefulness because I realized what God gave me through this challenge. I am now able to realize why I'm experiencing that again. because I have a wound as the divine masculine in receiving God. I have this wound that it's dangerous to receive because I realized some days ago, after years of healing in this place, that um, that I was encountered with sexuality way too early in my life. I was a child and I was watching Dirty Dancing with my twin flame. I thought, oh, a romantic movie. And as I watched it with her again after 20 years, I realized I was watching it already as a child, 7, 8 years old, and I was way too young. And I did not know what happened to me there. And so I had this wound that when I receive something, I will be overwhelmed and it is hurtful. And so this belief is deep down in my consciousness. And with these challenges in my finances, I was able to connect and come to the root of this block I have. And so I feel very grateful that I was even ready, thanks to the support of the teachings of Union, to show this vulnerability to my twin flame. She was the first I opened up to, that I have a problem with this also in our union. It's not easy for me to live this romantic part in our relationship and really open up to my Ascension coach, which helps me in this place. Because I was attracting this again and again because I was totally blocked in just receiving something new because it was always a struggle. And when I was listening to the sermon, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. Because with these financial struggles in truth, God was always helping me to see, look, you are hurt here. You need help here. You need support here. You need to heal here. And finally, I was able to open up to him and feel safe and receive him. Thanks through that kind of preparation with the mirror exercise and the teachings of healing. This feels very good. Like Brian also shared, sometimes you go through something very humble and you are kind of very vulnerable, but it feels so good. And in truth, when you are grateful, you see why it was for you, not against you.
Yeah, I'm gonna add like the last piece before I like pass it on to Ravencha so that she can kind of like take it from there. But that reminded me of something that Shaleia once was sharing in one of the Twin Flame Ascension school classes. And I feel like this could be one of the main reasons why we get so upset or triggered when a challenge arises, especially when it's a completely unexpected one, which tends to be the case. Like Brian was saying, here we are like choosing to heal and feel better, and suddenly like you don't know what's around the corner, and the challenge kind of like slaps you in the face. But Shaleia was saying that it tends to be kind of like our normal reaction to get upset when we are being loved in a place where we didn't feel like we were loved before. So if that's like, if you're currently in that situation, everyone here watching, and you feel like you've been kind of like slapped in the face with a challenge and it feels really upsetting, like that's fine. Know that it's an invitation to deeper love and like inviting more love after you move through the healing that is required in the place. So it's okay that it feels like it's not comfortable or it might be even painful. Like that's something that I've been working on as well myself. But you, like they were sharing in the sermon, you're stepping into that beautiful thing that you were calling in, and it's gonna be even greater than you could imagine it. So yeah, I think that was kind of like the last piece I wanted to share on that.
Thank you, Debo. Like when you were sharing the story and I was listening to the sermon of changing the perspective. So like you shared that you come from Argentina and there are certain beliefs, and similarly I come from India and there are certain beliefs with respect to, even with respect to having a relationship with God. And I was asking God that why am I not able to go deeper? Because I share a relationship with God, but I tend to go further deep in my relationship with God. But when I heard this sermon, I felt into it, and then still, it wasn't still not coming clear to me until you shared your story. And again, it was like bases our religious beliefs. it's tend to be that God is like you should fear God. God is like, it's a God-fearing country. That, and also with respect to even surrendering, like how we are learning to release control, because we know that not like, God is the one in charge. God is bringing our good to us. We just have to make the choice and move through our upsets. But like how I've seen this is while growing up, like how things happen, like, oh, now you can't do anything, give it to God. So I have always felt when people in my community said it, leave it to God, from a space of powerlessness, that you can't do anything. But after the teachings of you, like after I joined Twin Flames Universe and watching the classes and going deeper into this thing, I realized that it actually is a very powerful thing to do. Releasing control, not trying to do things, and being like, I feel that I'm much more. I have that gratitude from when I started the journey. Again, the question was, why did you put me on this journey? Why like this? But after crossing those layers and keep going deeper, and looking at the fear, and what were the upsets, healing through the triggers, it's like every day I am more and more grateful to God, because this is like such a brilliant and amazing opportunity to learn to live one life with God. And that's actually is something like having that kind of gratitude and being thankful for it. Like I remember, as Jeff also stated in life purpose classes, that he was talking about financial wealth, and he said that you want $1 billion, so for that you have to respect $1, and that's how you build it. So similarly, you want to cultivate your harmonious union, and then you want to move forward towards your perfect union. Then you've got to respect, honor even 1 ounce of love that you receive. And that's how, when you are grateful for it, when you have gratitude for even receiving that love, could be from your watch guard, could be from any person, you invite more love, and you send that message to the universe that I'm ready to receive love, and I'm grateful for what you're sending to me, and now that I'm ready, so you can send me more. And that's how we keep going deeper and deeper and building more and more of it. So gratitude is the key.
Yeah, exactly. Like they shared. I think Dennis and Nicole said it too. And Adam and Brian, that gratitude is the key of being thankful for what you have right now and expand from Marco. Even in the meditation, it was said. I think. And now I remember also in your card reading, you said this fighting, there was this kind of fighting, those that we fight with our minds, and that's how we don't allow the gratitude to really blossom out of our hearts. That was also very painful, because in truth it's just a flow. You flow with God, and you flow in this gratitude that you are thankful being with God, having challenges that allow you to grow and become what you desire, having $1 million, being together with your twin flame, being in harmonious union with your twin flame, whatever you desire. It's not there to make your life.
Yeah, to double the carrot and then just like put it away.
Exactly.
Oh, you're a lady, you're a lady.
That's not God.
No.
That's not God. That's not how your life should feel. Your life can feel very
Yeah, but I feel like it's
good.
important to acknowledge where you are. Like when I go through the emotions of this conversation and the sermon itself and everything that has been shared so far, I still remember like when I started this journey, I was in a very, very humbling situation. I had gone from being employed in a very well-paid job with a nice income to having like nothing. I could not make ends meet for the love of me, and that kind of was going on for quite some time. And it took me really a lot of time to come to that place where I was able to surrender and like really just let go of any expectations that I was holding on to of where I wanted to be in my life at that point. Because of course, this was the journey was completely new, the term of twin flames was completely new, the process of ascension was completely new, even though I was already touching a little bit on spirituality, and I kind of knew a little bit by heart, so to speak, and not realizing what it really entailed. And so it was a very hard time to really come to terms with that and see that I was like, again, I was having everything I needed. And I like I had a roof over my head, even though I was not the one able to provide it for myself. I had a meal on my plate for me and my son at the time, even though I was not the one being able to buy it. And it wasn't until it finally clicked in my mind that, oh, okay, I still have like the basics. The basics are there. This is taken care of. This is handled. And I was able to see that that was coming through the people around me, like my mom and other people that were kind of like orbiting in a reality at that point. That even if it didn't look like I wanted it to look like at that point, I was still being supported on my journey. And the moment that I was able to do that switch, I could really fall into or align better said with this sense of gratitude. And I feel like that's when like my journey started to really take like leaps in that sense. So yeah, and it happened again. Like I remember when I was with my grandma, we were in the middle of the pandemic, we were kind of like quarantined together, and we're like, oh my God, and again, like I still wasn't where I wanted to be, or where I know in my heart I know that I belong. And I remember someone who was a former client at the time, she was still coaching with me. This person was sharing with me this kind of like, I think it was a 90-day or 20, yeah, about 90-day exercise or challenge, if you will, on gratitude. And so we had like a lot of exercises to help you with that. And sometimes you need a little push. And the funny thing is that we kind of like, we didn't do that program again, but we kind of like took on some of those exercises. And a couple of months ago, during our summer holiday, we were actually at the pool, and you suggested to me kind of like reflecting on everything that I had attained since, like all the things that changed because of this work and this inner healing that I was doing. Like, how was my life prior to it? Like, Adam and Brianne, particularly Brianne, was sharing like how your life before this was and after. And oh my God, like it was a complete turnover for the better. So yeah, like gratitude goes a long way. I think it's like it said, the saying goes. So
Yeah.
mm.
Eventually, you would like to share still something?
I was feeling into when Debo said that how her life changed and like, for the better. So I was just all my past things versus like how I used to be before the work and how I am right now. It all actually started to come back, and it is filling me more with gratitude, like how even though we were living, like I feel even though I was living, but I was not living. It was just, now when you feel that peace within, you don't feel that codependency on having people around all the time, or you're like, you want to go out, or it's like then you're feeling that who would I go with, making hundreds of calls.
I
Your
can.
audio went away somehow. Now we cannot hear you.
I'm not
And
sure.
now you do.
You're
Now
back.
you're back. Now you're back.
Now I'm back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that feeling when you just don't have that codependency on people to make you happy, or you're not moving here and there in anxiety about what to do, how are you going to spend your weekend, or you don't have to go to work today, or probably you'll come home early, then what? So I feel that that is where I have also like shifted. I love to spend time with myself. I enjoy my own company, and do a lot of things which I never thought I will do. So the life has changed for greater good, I would say, because my life has entirely flipped, like from who I was to who I am. And trust me, this is somebody that even people know, not just myself. So, so yes, there is a huge shift in my own perspective about being able to see things and how I'm living, and it keeps getting better and better and better. It's never like even after you start the work, it's not like that 1 month after the work, and this is how a syllabus has been set, and that is how you have to live. But it keeps changing, it keeps getting better, and like yeah, those who are committed to their work, following the path, will surely understand what I'm saying, will feel what I'm saying.
Oh, it's beautiful. As you're
Yeah.
persistent, you
Mm.
keep going and never give up, no matter what. And when you find this gratitude for the challenge that is in front of you, like Ranger was sharing, you will always achieve what you desire.
Mm. Yeah, and don't force it either. Like
Yeah.
again, honor that doesn't feel good if that's the case, if that's your reality. But do choose to move through it, and when you can feel that gratitude on the other side of it, like that's enough. That's okay.
Yeah.
The important thing is that you find that space at some point or another in your journey. Like that's okay because it compounds on itself. Actually, like, that's been my experience so far.
I feel complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for participating in our after church tea time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching on YouTube. And if you would like to tie to the Church of Union, please visit our website unionism.org. With your tithing, you support the Church of Union, that we spread the wonderful message of the teachings of Union so that more and more people can receive all this love that everyone deserves who chooses to be aligned with love. And we see you all in our next after church tea time. Bye.